for coming to the Youth in the Spotlight conference. Our next workshop is hosted by Naomi Porter. We're so excited to have Naomi here with us today, sharing her entrepreneurship experience. Um, with that, I'll hand it over to Naomi.
All right, so hello, lovely humans. I am so excited for today, and thank you so much to Gen Z. We are the future. I am so excited for this presentation. So let's go on ahead and get started. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about taking your impact to the next level using entrepreneurship. And so with that, keep in mind that there's going to be a Q&A at the end of this. So around 3 o'clock, around 2:50, depending on where you're from. I'm from California, so it's around 2:50 for me. So 50 wherever you all are located. So let's get going. So my name is Naomi Porter, and I'm the CEO of two businesses, Spice It Up and Bright Futures, both launched when I was 11 and 13 years old. And so my first business was Spice It Up, which sells affordable and portable spice kits marketed to travelers who are looking for a more affordable accommodation when transporting spices in an environmentally friendly way. The next business I started was when I was 13 years old, called Bright Futures Tutoring and Academic Coaching. And so when you're creating something as generic as a tutoring business, you want to be sure to do something that stands out and something that makes it unique. And so for me, it was that it was run by a 13-year-old, but B, it was also run by youth, and we were offering more affordable prices than our competitors. Lastly, I am the founder of Entrepreneurship, which is a nonprofit organization that democratizes access to entrepreneurial education through over 1,900 youth who have been impacted. We have a team of 75 from various countries, about 24 countries, as we continue to work through startup funding competitions, events like the one we're at today, and through our ambassador program, which I will get to a little later, of how all of you here today can apply and can be part of that. So with that, let's get going. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. The reason we're all here today is because youth in the spotlight, right? Youth, we are the future. And so let's do something about it. And why not use entrepreneurship? So entrepreneurship is the process of designing, launching, and essentially starting a business or a venture. But it really just means creating something when there once was nothing, right? You're taking a look in your community and figuring out how your individual gifts and talents can make that place a better place. And so there is no box for entrepreneurship, and that is why it is so phenomenal. Because it's not like one size fits all like the business world. You can develop a product, a service, a social movement. Showing up here today is showing that you have what's called an entrepreneurial mindset. So this is definitely a broad term. It's a term that is very new. But an entrepreneurial mindset, I've narrowed it down to three things. The first is initiative. That means being a go-getter and claiming the power to take ownership of a project. Instead of saying, well, I wish this problem didn't exist, or if only this could be different, you ask, well, why not me? And why not now? And that is the entrepreneurial mindset that I hope each of us can develop. Next is opportunity seeking. Again, seeing these problems as opportunities to create solutions and calling all people of all generations into that conversation. Lastly is flexible thinking, the willingness to change plans to overcome present and future challenges. We've seen that in the pandemic as so many businesses have turned online. Tutoring in person is now online, and right, these brick and mortar businesses, it's now more of a liability to have a storefront than it is as an asset. And so continuing to adapt, meeting the current and present needs of our ever-changing society. So let's just talk about getting started. So whether you have an idea or you don't, this presentation is really designed for all of you to kind of get something out of this and maybe think about your next venture. So here are a couple questions I'll skim very briefly that you can think about when developing your next business or your venture or your idea. Is there a product that could simply improve efficiency? Or is there a current product that could be more environmentally friendly? If again, you have more of an environmental aspect and technology aspect, then this might be a right road for you. Is there simply a universal product problem that you can solve with a new product? I mean, if you take a look with the COVID-19 pandemic, what did we need? We needed people to go into grocery stores, say for elderly people. That's a new idea. That's a new service. It probably won't exist 10 years from now, but it's a very pandemic necessary business. Next is, can you simply provide a different product or a more affordable option? You don't have to reinvent the wheel to be successful. Instead, you can just kind of add your own spin on it. Lastly, do you have the skills to provide this? I mean, being honest, knowing myself, I don't have the skills to make, say, a mask making business because I am not artistically inclined at all. And I know that about myself, but I love working with kids. So naturally, I generated towards tutoring and working with students. And I know that about myself. And so I asked myself, how can I monetize my gifts, skills, talents, and interests? So if you're still stuck and you're still going, okay, well, those are great questions, Naomi. I absolutely love it, but I don't know where to go from here. We'll take a look at the United Nations website. So the United Nations have 17 global goals for sustainable development, also known as the SDGs. And so many of the social problems faced in the world, I believe, are opportunities for the creation of business models to address these. And so together we can look for ways to address things like quality education, decent work and economic growth, life on land, life below water. All of these things, if you're stuck, visit the website and read about these issues really in depth and ask yourself, does this spark a passion in me? Am I willing to kind of put my life out there, put my life on the line, for lack of a better word, and join up with an organization that does this? Do I need to start my own? And if your businesses or your initiatives align with these, all of a sudden you look just that much better in the eyes of competitors. And so aligning with these goals really shows that you care about more than just making money, but you care about humanity. And so let's talk briefly about pitching your idea. So once you have this idea, you're like, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Get feedback from people. And so I'll explain a little bit later where you can actually get feedback through my organization. But basically, just be concise and direct and be authentic and transparent. Because if you are, let's say, a mask making business, but you've never known how to make masks before, that's okay. It's no big deal, but be honest about that with investors and be honest where you are in your progress, because people will see you as someone who has integrity. And that, for me personally, if I was an investor, I would much rather take someone who's honest about where they are in life rather than someone who's faking having it all together when they really don't, because I know that that integrity will take them far past selling $4.99 masks. And so, again, being honest about what stage of development that you're in. Oop, my bad, friends. So lastly, let's talk a little bit about marketing and networking. I think Audrey was probably talking about networking and using all of those amazing things. She's a phenomenal human being. But let's talk about marketing and networking in terms of your business. Determine your wow factor. What makes it so that when people read about your business, your initiative, or even your personal brand, to be honest, that goes, wow, I want to invest in them. I want to be a part of that team, right? Is it your age? Is it your purpose? Is it your life story? Is it what you seek to do? Figure out what makes yours unique and that has heads turning. It doesn't have to be a revolutionary idea. You just have to have that passion. So people go, yes, I want to invest in them. Whether it's with money, whether it's with time, or a simple like, comment, share, subscribe on social media, they want to support you, and that's because of your brand. And so in terms of marketing, I kind of use this phrase of when things aren't going right, go left. And it's definitely funny. It could definitely be like, a magical sort of a poster in my room. And it definitely has those vibes, for lack of a better professional word. But it also has so much value, because when things aren't going right, when things aren't going correctly, when everything seems like it's falling apart, go left. Do something different. Don't keep going in that direction. And if you keep hearing those no's or it keeps feeling wrong, pivot and do something completely different. Doesn't matter if it's off brand, doesn't matter if your friends think it's weird what you do it. So for me, Spice It Up, my first business, was originally doing great with sales. I had so many sales. It was the start of summer. I felt like this hot shot 11-year-old entrepreneur. And then hit October, November. And no one's camping in October or November, right? I mean, who would be? It's freezing in California, and we can't even stand it when it's 60 degrees, let alone 55. So of course no one's camping, and that's my target market. And so sales dried up. There was nothing, and that was hard for me because I put all this energy into my businesses to have them succeed, but it really didn't. And so again, when things aren't going right, when I kept getting those no's and couldn't get any response, I went left. And so I sent emails to about 50 travel bloggers asking if they could review my product. And I thought this was a good deal. I'd give them a free product. They brought me a review. Seemed like a win-win to me. Of course, in 6th grade, Naomi's mind, that did seem like a win-win. But when you get into the business world, it's not always like that. And so I had a lot of notes, got a lot of no responses, got a lot of that's great, but if you want to pay us $150, we would do it. But of course, I didn't have that money, nor did I want to pay that money. But I eventually got that one yes. And that one yes, after all of these no's, showed me that that one yes is all it takes to really make a difference in your mindset. I mean, every no means a greater yes down the road. So in your marketing, in your personal brand, in life in general, when things aren't going right, go left. Do something different. And lastly, in terms of networking, don't wait to be invited. Reach out to people. Connect with other people's in your niche. Follow organizations like Gen Z, We Are the Future. Shout out to them. They hit a 5K, which is amazing. And, follow organizations, peers, mentors, and influencers who have the same goal as you. If you're into the healthcare, then follow people who have influence in that industry. Are you interested in environmentalism? Follow climate change activists. See what they're doing. See if you can collaborate. Go live with them. Reach out to them for advice, because people are out there. They're within this scope. They're at the grasp of your fingertips because of an amazing thing we all have called technology. And so now we're going to move into the funding, follows, and features form of this segment today. And then in a little bit, in about 3-5 minutes, we're going to have a quick Q&A. I want to be conscious of everyone's time, of course, but a couple of things. So the first is funding. So through Entrepreneurship, we have a summer startup funding competition for any people who are interested in winning money. And so all of these are linked in our bio, and I will put a link in the chat. But if you are from the United States, then you can have anything that you need for your business. So let's say you're making a mask making business. And so if you're making, let's say, a mask making business, right, then you would probably want fabric. You would probably want, like mask making things. Sorry, my words are totally failing right now, friends, but you would want string and all those things. And we are more than happy to purchase them for you because we want to support young entrepreneurs. Okay, so that's the main thing in terms of funding. And then next we have what we call the 3 F's of every presentation. So features, follows, and funding. So I am a firm believer that you don't need to have more followers than following. And so if any of you want to connect with our organization, please do give us a follow and we will follow you back. Same with me on my personal, because I am not a celebrity, nor do I aspire to be. And so I would love to connect with all of you. We are creating this global community. We want to follow you. We want to highlight you. And we want you to join our team and take your impact to the next level. And so by doing that, you can become an ambassador for Entrepreneurship. And so it is a very flexible time commitment because we are a youth-led organization, which means when it comes time for AP tests or, it's exam time, we understand. Cut back on your time. We get it. We're going through it. The founders and the directors, we understand. You can get service hours. You're part of an international youth-led organization that's been in Forbes magazine. There are media opportunities, monthly competitions for prizes, and we have a team of about 55 ambassadors from 24 countries. So waking up at 2 a.m. will not happen friends. We understand time zones, and we are more than happy to have you on our team. And so again, all of that is linked in Entrepreneurship's bio, and as well as my own, and it's just at entrepreneurship.org. And so my last piece of advice before we head into our Q&A section is to get started today, because our world is waiting for you and your ideas. There is no set path, so you have to make your own way. Entrepreneurship, it looks so different for everyone. There is no right or wrong way to be an entrepreneur. There is no more corporate ladder. As Generation Z, we have abolished that ladder, made our own, and have all these crazy twists and turns because we are the future. Like this incredible organization, it's true. You are the future. Everyone on this call, you are one step further in taking your impact to the next level. Our world is waiting for you and your ideas, and I truly hope that you take them to the next level. And so with that, let's all connect. I will put all of the information that I just shared about in the chat. My email is naomiporterinfo@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, if I don't get to them today, or if you are like, hey, I have this idea for a funding, or oh, what do you think of this business plan? Please reach out to me. I'm most responsive on email and Instagram as well. Pretty much Naomi Porter PV, anywhere and everywhere that has a social media platform. And again, I will follow you all back because that is something that is core to who I am. And so again, everything is linked in that bio, but I will also put it in the chat. So now, Sophia and Claire, do we have time for questions?
Yeah, I think we do. And actually, to get started, we had a private chat which was asking, what is your favorite thing about working as an entrepreneur?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's the people that I meet. Because so often when you think of entrepreneurs, you probably think about, 20-year-olds who are straight out of college and they have all this venture capital. But with youth entrepreneurship comes so many opportunities to meet with people. Like just yesterday, you guys had on, or I think a couple hours ago, like Audrey, and she's phenomenal. She is an entrepreneur, and I would have never met her unless I got into the activist world. And so I think just the opportunities that come with being so young is my favorite part, because everyone has so much fire and we're so ready to give, and we do it together rather than just having each other as competition, right? We see each other as this idea of collaboration. And instead of going, I'm going to start 500 initiatives, no, let's make one and let's do it together.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if anyone else has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But I think one question I have is, how do you manage all your time with running 2 businesses and school? And are there any tips that you have for others who are looking to do the same?
My advice is that school is not everything, nor is it for everyone. And so college isn't for everyone, friends. You can go to vocational school, get an apprenticeship, learn a trade. College isn't for everyone. And so why are we training young students to be taking calculus, IB, AP classes? I am a firm believer that I do not need to take calculus if I want to be a teacher. I want to maybe be a teacher or speech pathologist. And I simply put, I don't need to know how to graph quadratic equations, nor know how to write Shakespearean sonnets. So I'm only going to be taking the rigor that matters for me. And so I just got my course schedule, and I'm going to be getting out of school every single day at 12:16. And that's because I am prioritizing a couple of things. I'm prioritizing my mental health. I am prioritizing things that bring me joy, like entrepreneurship, and I'm prioritizing my time. And so what that looks like is that means cutting back on classes. And if that means I'm not going to go to an Ivy League, then so be it, because I want to go to a school that really values me and for what I'm bringing to the table. And I bring entrepreneurship, I bring passion. I might not bring 1,200 AP classes, but that's okay. And so for me, with balancing my time, I know what works for me and what doesn't. And so that's the biggest thing, as well as just keeping an organized schedule. I know that's probably the most basic answer you'll ever hear, Sophia, but it's true. Having a good calendar in your phone is something that's really helped me. I recently got a watch that shows all my upcoming meetings and gives me reminders. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be late for those things, as well as just booking out time to be with friends and loved ones. Because even just scheduling, saying, hey, today I'm going to spend, an hour to an hour and a half just being with the people I care about, that kind of rejuvenates me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I got another private chat, but for everyone else here, just like feel free to put them so everyone else can see them. But I mean, if you want to keep private chatting me, that also works. But the person is asking, what's your favorite project you've worked on within both of your organizations and businesses?
That is a great question. I think entrepreneurship is definitely my favorite because it's the thing I've been doing the most recently. And so I launched entrepreneurship in 2019, and that's when I already had kind of the industry down, for lack of a better word. I done service, I did a product, I was making money, and I wanted to do something to really just quantify that impact. And so I knew that I had the skills to be successful. And so I think the best project that I've worked on within entrepreneurship has actually been these last couple of months, because we've launched our ambassador program. And I was expecting, like 4 to 5 applications. Like, I'm listening to another podcast that was on a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, we have 5 applications, and I'm so excited. I think I was just chatting with this girl, and now I go, oh my gravy, we have 56 ambassadors. How did that happen? And let me tell you, friends, it's the power of social media, and it's the power of people power, and people. We are people powered, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I expected, again, 5, maybe 10 people, mostly from the US, and now we have a team of over 75 from 24 countries. And so continuing to quantify that impact and meeting people who truly are passionate about this from around the world shows me that this is not just a problem in the United States, a lack of affordable entrepreneurial education, but it's a global issue, and together globally we can solve this.
Yeah, that's like great advice, and I love all the work you're doing. I don't think we have any more questions unless anyone wants to add anything in the chat really quickly, but if not, I can hand it over to Alejandra, who will close everything up.
Okay, thank you so much, Naomi. That was amazing. I got the opportunity to learn more about creating impact without waiting to get more older and starting right now. Well, our next event of the day will be breaking echo chambers and filter bubbles for a global conversation. We hope to see you all there, and once again, thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you, guys. And be sure to join our Discord channel, and as well as join our team. We have lots of opportunities there for mentorship, and we have free programs. So I will leave those all in the chat. And thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I look forward to connecting with all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come speak with everyone. And now we have a quick break, but after that, at 3:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so in about 5 minutes, we'll be hearing more from Ira and Santiago, who are the founders of Loop Media, and they'll be talking a little bit about breaking echo chambers and a lot of the work they're doing. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get started briefly.